so well.
This sucks. I don't know why I'm doing this. It's gotta be your franchise, you know that.
Just do it.
There was one fairer than thee.
There sure is.
Alright, one more round. What did you do to him?
Amora the Enchantress. This is the comic biography. The Enchantress' parentage is unknown, though it is known she has a sister, Lorelei. In time, Amora became one of the more powerful magic wielders in Asgard, with her magic arsenal focused on, but not limited to, charming and mind-controlling people. Her, by now, well-known beauty did not hinder this. Amora has devoted her immortal life to the pursuit of power and pleasure, using sorcery and sexuality as her tools. Born into the Asgardian gods, Amora studied under the mighty sorceress Pernilla, the Norn queen, who ultimately expelled her for being too undisciplined. Amora went on to study under many other Asgardian mages, often seducing them to learn their secrets. By the time she reached adulthood, Amora was a powerful sorceress, focused for her beauty and infamous for her heartless scheming. An early alliance with the warrior goddess Brunhilde the Valkyrie ended with Amora trapping Brunhilde's soul, using the Valkyrie's vacated form as a shell for herself and various pawns to inhabit over the centuries to follow. Brunhilde would eventually return, becoming one of Amora's bitterest enemies. Amora's long-serving pawn was Scourge the Executioner. Scourge was madly in love with Amora, who granted him just enough affection to ensure his loyalty. The two pursued many schemes together, often coming into conflict with the thunder god Thor and his mortal comrades, the Avengers. When Scourge eventually sacrificed his life, aiding Thor in a heroic rescue mission, Amora mourned him with a genuine grief and surprised everybody, including the Enchantress herself. Other smitten pawns, such as the original Power Man, Eric Johnston, and a new human executioner, Rube Benhurst, never served the Enchantress quite as well as Scourge, and were soon abandoned. Pardoned in her recent years after helping defend Asgard against Super, Amora has had an on and off romantic link with her longtime foe Thor, to whom she was drawn even more strongly after he inherited the throne of Asgard. As Thor's ally, advisor, and sometimes lover, Amora has been a prominent figure in Thor's Asgard. Sadly, Amora was among the many Asgardians apparently slain when Thor's brother Loki led a revolt in fulfillment of the Ragnarok prophecies. Whether she will rise again remains to be seen.
Alright. Hello and welcome back. We are in episode 10. 10, double digits. 1 year older than my daughter here. Today I am joined by Alexis. No Cody today. He'll be with us next week when we do the next set of costume, which is the Taskmaster. This week we're working on Amora. Most people don't mind or don't know her by her actual name. She's the sorceress the Enchantress, not the sorceress, Enchantress from Asgard. Her real name is Amora, and you just heard about her backstory and her origin just a few moments prior. But we are continuing with the Marvel villains. You've seen Baron Zemo last week, which is actually, one of my favorites. This one was actually another favorite, not because my daughter, did it. Obviously, that's number one, but because she actually placed and won a costume contest with this. This is, it was a big achievement for Alexis. So, let's get into it. Unfortunately, the mannequin is actually too big for this costume. Alexis was a little bit smaller at the time when she wore this. So, alright, for the most part, this is the full costume. We get the shoes, the bodysuit, and she has the headpiece on. Let's talk about the headpiece actually. This headpiece is made from styrene plastic. It's the same plastic you would get down at Michael's for like a painter's palette. You put your oils or whatever onto this palette and you go away with it. So I took that and bent it around. I do want to stop. Let's roll it back. I did notice that a friend of mine, Sam, she did a Lady Sif costume, and she had a similar headpiece on, and I wanted to find out from her how she did it. And so she just explained that this is what I did with some strapping and some foam pieces and whatnot. So that's how this happened. Okay, so I heat formed it so that it would contour to Alexis' head. It doesn't sit on top, obviously. It sits much lower. In the comics, you do see it. She's not in the MCU yet, but the cartoons and the comics, it comes right down to almost her brow level. It was wider because she's actually gotten older and obviously grown a little bit. It looks a little small on her, but very similar to Wanda from Yep, very similar to that. At the tail end, spoiler. She does have another headpiece, and it looks very similar to this. I don't want people mistaken. This is not Polaris. This is Amora, the Asgardian Enchantress. So, on the back part of this is some 1/8 inch foam. I wanted some cushion. No, you can turn on. I wanted some cushion behind this actual face piece here because it is sitting on the skin, so I wanted it to be comfortable, kind of my mantra, built for comfort. And it's held on by these 3/8 inch, let's say, elastics. One goes around the whole head on the horizontal plane, if you want to say. I'm an engineer, so yeah, the horizontal plane, and then one across the vertical plane. Comes from the center here and it connects into the back. What that is, it keeps it from sliding further down, but the strapping keeps it in place. So even if she sweat a little bit with this, it wasn't moving. I know that I did round off a little bit down here and right here to keep it from poking into her face or so. I did paint it with some Rust-Oleum green. It's forest green. Don't have it handy, but I want to say I didn't use it all up. But it was a hunter green. But that's the mask, head, crown, I don't know. Face piece?
Crown.
Okay, crown. Alright. So why don't we just continue with just pulling stuff off of here and explaining. This is her belt. Alright. It was the belt, you'll understand when we further get into this, also the need for this. But in the comics, you do see that she does have like a tassel skirt on. I decided to make it into a belt. This belt is put together with some foam pieces and covered over with some vinyl. Vinyl. And it's held together, it's all glued together, and it's held together by some snaps here and here. I want to say, yep, it's doubled up here and here. Let's see. This material is actually a spandexy material. It's meant for like gymnastics costumes or some sort of a dance costume. Something that will move and stretch with the person, dancer or acrobatic or athlete. And I did use that when it came down to the rest of the costume. I wanted that shimmering look. I then did these are just some decorative accoutrements that I did up a little paracord, and then I glued it to the belt equally out. I wanted something a little different, just to spruce it up a little bit. You didn't really see any of these snaps when it was put in place. Oh, you know what? You know what these were for?
What?
Now I remember. These hooks, I built this belt to close, and you can see how big it was. Alright, she grew a little bit. The waist, she grew. So I'm like, I know I kind of misspoke here, but I can't remember why I put these hooks in here. There's actually another one folded down in the back here, but it's meant to pull this costume out a little bit. I misspoke. But that's what happens when I build costumes so far out. I want to say I was working with the Taskmaster at the same time as I was working with this one, and I was working with the Doctor Doom and the Batman Who Laughs. So I was working with 4 costumes at the same time. So I probably started hers long before, and months in, she was going through the growth spurt. So, but it's not the end of the world. But that's the belt. All right. I only have one of these. I'm not sure where the other one went to. I thought they were all in storage. No, we can keep that on. But these are her arm pieces. I don't know if you can get your
I'll try.
arm in there. No, that goes over your middle finger. While she does that, I'll explain. In the comics, you do see that she does have some arm pieces that come down. I opted to, because this was a stretchy material, I opted to make the arm guards with no like closure piece there. You also see in the comics that it does come up to a point, so I put in a little like elastic finger piece. And seeing by the source material I went with, you do see some chevrons. So I took my sewing machine and went down and made some patterning. I was actually getting pretty good with the sewing machine when it comes down to actually doing some patterning. So, but all in all, this material does hold up, but over the course of time, if it's in an area where it's constantly moving, you do lose some of the shininess. And it was in the area where her thumb was. So it started losing, it started wearing down. But obviously, like I said, both arms. I'm not sure why I only have one, but and it fit really snugly. It does fit snugly now, obviously, but back then it was actually really good. You having some trouble with that?
Yep. But I got it off.
All right. Okay. So let's get into the undersuit. This thing is small. It gives you kind of an idea of how big she was. I found a leotard pattern, and then I had to take off the shoulders, cut the back down a little bit, just cut it down, kind of a lower neck. I did a lot of adjustment to the pattern. But for the most part, I went by with all the instructions, went up through the legs, sewn them together. Did another, this was my double needle that I used on Baron Zemo. I used on doing these patterns that are coming down through here. There's nothing in the back, but it's all in the front. So it's like a decorative pattern that comes down. Once again, comic book image. I tried to stay as close to the comic book image or my source material as possible. And you do not see straps. Now, turn around to the back. There is no straps whatsoever on this. All right. Now let's go back a done. I mean, being a 4 or 5 year old, not sure how old she was, I wasn't fond of her going out on stage with just something like this. And obviously the source material did have a skirt to it. So the skirt did cover up. Coincidentally, the beginning of my videos, you do see the three of us that go through, and it's kind of an introduction. You do see her dancing with it on. The tassels actually cover quite a bit. Now, this was attached or held up on a bodysuit. She had a nude color bodysuit that she wore for it's designed for dance. Put it on, and she had snaps that were located right here, corresponding on the suit itself also. And that's kind of it. The bodysuit at least covered the skin. Yeah, the essence is there. The idea is there that she, kind of skimpy clothing. But once again, 5-6 years old, I wasn't out for bare skin, so I opted to go with this tannish nude color bodysuit with this over it. So, all right. I'm sorry, it sounds like I'm a prude, but nope, just thinking along. Let's see. Let's do this. Alexis wanted to wear this for Halloween, and I'm like, okay, well, in New England, the temperatures do get pretty low for October, and I'm like, she still's not going to be warm enough with this bodysuit with her base suit with her leotard. Yeah, bodysuit with the leotard still doesn't give it much warmth, so I opted to go with this route. And I made this. It's a basic shawl that went around.
I think we're...
No, this is how it went.
Oh.
It was a basic shawl that went around. I didn't want to put too much time and effort into it. Oh, yep.
Very, very warm.
No, she was right. She was right, and I was wrong. Okay. Here we go. All right. Okay. Reasoning behind this. I noticed that my seams were on the outside, should have been on the inside. You know, the cut marks. So I made this over-the-shoulder shawl and decided, thinking about it, as Guardians take a lot of their design from Norse mythology, obviously the Iron mythology, but from Norse living Viking times, and they had a lot of furs. So I opted to do this shoulder piece, shoulder shawl, and use what was left over from my fur that was in the Baron Zemo collar, and put that on. It did have a collar that went around. Collar went around her neck, but then this went across her back. Now, out in October, closing, she could close this up, and between the fur and this is actually felt. Between the two, she was actually very warm. I went to Walmart and was like, oh, I gotta find something, like a tie. What would they use? And it's like, okay, nobility would use golds and lush things, and it's like, okay, Asgardian, okay, she's gonna go with this. So I just found these little tassels, tiebacks for curtains. So I wanted this to match her bodysuit or her leotard. So this was just plain for keeping her warm while she was out trick-or-treating. Great idea. I suppose if I needed the fur again, I could probably take it off. I don't think that this will go with any of her costumes. You can actually put that right over there. So, and last but not least was her shoes. Now this, when I build costumes, I usually build them so that kind of raises my bar on building, and each costume was like that. And I don't want to say like with the sewing, it raised the bar with the sewing and the belt work and all that. This is what raised my bar actually, because I wasn't sure how to do this. If you look at the Enchantress with Amora, you'll see a shot coming up, that she does have leggings that go all the way down to boots. I'm like, how the heck am I gonna do that? And put these designs on? Well, let's start with talking about the boots itself. Alright. Found these boots at Walmart and started off, and they were just like an ankle high boot. Just trying to feel. They had like elastic sides that you could actually slip on. I couldn't put a zipper in there or anything like that, so she had to slip these on. Alright. Now, I bought a pair of these leggings. That's what these are, leggings? Yeah.
Leggings.
Yep, leggings. I bought a pair of leggings. And I want to say I had her put the boots on and then put the leggings over the boots. I cut out the heel. It just didn't look right. So I cut out the heel from the leggings, but kept it with the toe attached going through. It doesn't look like it now just because she's worn it a few times. Just the wear and tear on it. But I didn't cut out the toe. So, but the bottom, you notice that I did put on some of these traction grips. These leggings did move on the boots. I suppose I could have put like a tack coat of glue on the boots, but it just would have got all over the inside.
I would not want to put my foot on it.
But I decided afterwards that I did have my heel. I knew where the heel was going to be, and I put a little bit of glue around it so that it would stop fraying. So I knew where everything was. So I opted to make a frame or I don't have it here. I had it for the longest time. But I had Alexis lay down on a piece of foam core board and I traced her legs out. Okay? And I cut it out and put the leggings on there. Now, I fired up my airbrush and started doing the airbrushing on these designs. Now, you can see they do move around. It was actually really nice. But I wanted her size of her leg to be there. I'm not sure if I'm explaining it adequately, but I wanted her legs to be there so when she put it on, it wasn't going to exaggerate out the circles. I wanted the circles perfect to her size. So when she finally finished putting them on and all that, the circles would be prime. You know, it would be perfect circles. When I airbrushed them, I did use some templates. I made up some templates and cut them out on a, won't cut them out, I don't, because I got a Cricut upstairs and I didn't have a Cricut at the time, so I had to use an X-Acto knife and cut out each of the circles, the outsides and then the insides. And then I went over with some green airbrush. I got my design and then I took off it was like a sticky paper. I took it off, masking paper. I took it off and then went through with the airbrush. I did have to put a number of coats on because it did seep in to the material. So I had put a number of coats in, but not enough to be like cracking or really noticeable to the touch. But as soon as they started coming out, that was it. I was done. But that was these boots. Now, right off the top of my head, I want to say you wore this trick-or-treating. You wore this to Free Comic Book Day. You wore this to the Poughkeepsie Comic-Con up in New York, and you also wore it to GraniteCon.
GraniteCon, that's the one I remember.
Yep. Okay, let's back up. So she wore it 4 times out in public. Got a lot of use out of this. Halloween, I was explaining that she was out with the shawl, and I want to say you were actually very warm.
I was.
Yeah. But it was actually comfortable with those boots because they didn't have that heel. Comfortable to wear out trick-or-treating. I mean, we go quite a distance trick-or-treating. So.
Yeah.
I believe I do have some pictures of that. I could be. No, Lisa usually pretty good at taking pictures. So, but she was actually running around with this. The costume held up. I want to say that was your last time wearing it, so I'm kind of going backwards here. But yes, she did wear it on Halloween, kind of running around with her friends, so it held up really well for that. Okay. I believe the next one was Free Comic Book Day that I quoted. It was Free Comic Book Day. Once again, you do see her in the opening with the intro when it's introducing her, and she's dancing around on on my sword.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
The same sword, and she's dancing around on the sword. I was very able that year. Cody did wear his Robin outfit. Had a great time, middle of May, so she obviously didn't need the shawl. And she was actually very comfortable in that. I don't think she complained that it was too hot or so. But she actually joined the costume contest along with her brother. Now at this point in time, Cody has won 2 costume contests with me.
I think I won 2 too.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Anyways, so Cody's won twice. So now it's her time to shine. Cody went up with his Robin, which you'll see in later episodes. One of I hate to say it, one of my best works. Absolutely love it. But anyways, I digress. Once again, rambling here. Cody came up. Everybody loved it. Cheered loudly. Alexis came up. Oh my God, what a roar! It caused her to win the contest for the children's division. So this is an award-winning costume for a girl that's probably about 5 or 6.
I think I was 5.
Yeah. So it was a great feeling for her to be, to win that. So the next one was Poughkeepsie Comic-Con. It was up in Poughkeepsie, New York. We went up and we decided, hey, it's a nice little Comic-Con. Let's go up and see it. So we went up. We stayed with my cousin. She was probably about an hour from the event, and my aunt and uncle probably about the same distance. So we went up and spent the weekend, and had a good time. We walked around. I did my Freddy Krueger. Cody did his Chucky, and Alexis did the Amora. Also there, we do have pictures of her outside with it.
I just remembered something.
What's that?
I had green hair.
Did you have green hair?
I had a tiny bit of green hair.
I don't recall you having green hair.
I was in my
Because
Amora
her
for that.
Amora had no. You know what you had? You had gold hair because she was a blonde.
Yeah.
She was blonde. Yeah. I'm sorry, I missed that one because we actually at Poughkeepsie we actually put in the gold because you didn't have that free comic day, so you had it for Poughkeepsie. We sprayed it in and it actually ended up coming out, but it was like a gold flake hair. So, but anyways, that Comic-Con was actually really nice. I met a very nice. Actually, I met a lot of nice customers out there. Very homestruck when I saw that there was the Freddy Krueger from the Tower of Terror out here in Worcester that was actually up there. That was actually really nice to see him. So for the two of us being at the Comic-Con together, that was great. I want to say, did we get some pictures on the Avengers Jeep with you in this? Because they had the Avengers Jeep there.
I don't remember.
Well, if I have it, I'll be showing it. I have to go talk to Mom about that. But and I gotta say, let's just kind of stop right here and just give a shout out to my wife. Thank you, Lisa, for putting up with us. She is the Comic-Con handler. She actually officially has a shirt that says, "Yeah, I'll take that picture," and it says like something to do with cosplay handler, and a little shout out to Ruckus Tees for that T-shirt. Thank you, Johnny. You're the best. His T-shirts are awesome. Go check them out. RuckusTees.com. But anyways, so we bring it all back to Granite Con, which is sort of my home con that we do. Right up where all my friends in the cosplay community, came together that year. Actually, every year. But anyways, I was doing a Dr. Doom. Cody was doing his Taskmaster. Alexis did the Amora. We stayed just one night there. Yeah, because we stayed 2 nights when we did the Dark Nights. So we just did one night. We stayed one night at the con. She went out, and a lot of people were all excited to see this costume. She actually she made friends with quite a bit of people in this costume. A friend of mine, Elena and Kayla. She actually sat down, was looking at the turtle. You can see a picture here. Another friend of mine, Molly the cosplayer, she was actually doing a Wonder Woman cosplay. Alexis had fun talking with her, along with Marie. She did the Captain Marvel. Anyways, Alexis, wherever she goes, she seems to make friends with everybody. So anyway, Alexis and Cody both joined the costume contest that year. once again, Cody was in Taskmaster. She did this, and unfortunately, Cody placed second place in that costume contest over a kid that did Dalek, which was really awesome. But Alexis, she, no slouch when it comes to costume contest. It was actually a very difficult year for these kids. So, but she did quite well, and just with all this information or all this stuff, what I'm telling you about little stories and all that, this costume actually really handled well. It was Alexis' first outing doing the contest, and I think she did really good. She went on to do the Drown yourself, and is that the only one?
I did Wonder Woman Supergirl before.
Did you?
Amora. Those were one of my first costumes.
Okay. I didn't know if you did. If you joined the costume contest for that or not.
For Amora?
No, for Wonder Woman or Supergirl.
For Wonder Woman I did.
Did you? Okay.
I was like 3.
Yeah. But she did very well with this costume. So, do you want to add anything in here? I know I do a lot of the talk here.
Yeah.
You and your brother just kind of along for the ride here. But do you want to add anything into this?
It was a really nice costume to wear 4 times and win a costume contest with it.
So, anyways, that brings us to the end of this costume. It was built for comfort, and I can attest to that. Being 5-6 years old, you know how kids can get when they get uncomfortable. But she was a trooper. She made it through everything with it, and the craftsmanship was there. I'm very pleased. She won the costume contest with the craftsmanship. But anyways, I think we're done. We've taken enough time away from these people. It is Sunday for us. Sunday fun day. We got 1,000,001 things to do today. So, but anyways, on behalf of myself and my daughter, I want to say thank you for stopping by. Go to my webpage, jerrycp.com. There you will see the other costumes that we've done in our previous retrospective or some of the future ones that are coming up. So jerrycp.com. Go take a look at that. Hit subscribe. Like this video. I'm trying to get a little bit better with these videos and trying to drum up some more support for these. So, but I do appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Have a great week or weekend whenever you're watching this. So, want to say anything to them? You want to say bye to them?
Bye.
So now we got to go find where you put your brother.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's go.